top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Time to wake up after that game. That Thursday night game was a snoozer. What Thursday night game is not? I'm getting really tired of the lack of production in these Thursday night games. Ridiculous, but we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about NFL news for week 6. We're going to talk about your questions. Ask me your questions. Who do we start? Who do we sit? Who do we trade? Who do we buy low? What do we watch tonight? The answer is El Camino. That's right. I am Pacific time. That means I have 2.5 hours left before El Camino is released on Netflix. I can't wait. Nick, Miss Smitty sleeping, but happy birthday. Man, these Patriots. Pass defense going off for me. The pass D is insane. The pass D is absolutely insane. You know who's not insane? Baker, disappointment maker. What's up, Seclan? You know why? You're here because you got some snacks. All right, let's go over the reaction of this game. Then we'll get into the news. Then we'll get into your questions. So hang tight before you just blast away with the questions because I'm getting into the game. And then I'll get into the news. Then we go into the Q&A. Daniel Jones, 161, 1 TD, 3 INTs. John Hilleman, kind of a disappointing game. I thought maybe he'd be used a little more. 11 carries for 38 yards. Golden Tate, what a big game he had in a bounce back performance. Getting back into the mix of fantasy football. Is he a wide receiver 3 moving forward? Tough to say. 6 receptions for 102 and a TD. He looked good. He looked strong. He looked confident. They obviously want to use him. What do you guys think? A comment in the chat right here. Is Golden Tate locked and loaded wide receiver 3 material moving forward? Let me get rid of that Smitty sleeping on the job. I really did fall asleep during the game. That's kind of why I did that intro, is because in reality I fell asleep. And I'm a little late getting on here because I woke up just not too long ago from a little cat nap. Because that game was so boring. So, obviously, Golden Tate did pretty well. Tom Brady, 1 INT, no touchdowns, 334. We got rid of him in the Throne League. And I don't think he helped out State of Mind at all. So, we got, I don't know if you guys missed the trade, but in the Throne League, the team you drafted for me, the league I created with 11 other expert pages on Instagram, where we let you, the followers, draft your show or your fan page of choice. You draft their team. You guys drafted my team. You guys helped me make a trade on my live the other night. We traded away Tom Brady, who was our backup QB, because we got Pat Mahomes. We traded away Tom Brady and blank it out. We got Zach Ertz, and let me just show you actually the trade. I was blanking out for a second. I'm on a team. I have so many leagues. I get a little confused with my teams, but I'd rather show you the trade because it will make you happy. Hold on one second. All right, so here is our trade. We traded Tom Brady, Jalen Samuels, and Dalvin Cook, and we got back Zach Ertz, Zeke Elliott, and he dropped Cobb. That was the one thing I wanted to look up. So our team turned into this bad boy right here. Look at that. Pat Mahomes, Alvin Kamara, Zeke Elliott. So we swapped out Cook for Zeke Elliott, which it sucks that we had to do that. But we got Zeke Elliott. I kind of feel like they're the same moving forward, to be honest. I really love Cook. It sucked getting rid of Cook, but to get Zach Ertz in place of Brady we don't play. Brady we could have played on a bye, sure, but Brady's not in our lineup. That's the perfect way to do 2-for-1. So we trade away Dalvin Cook for what I believe to be equivalent or even maybe even better. He hasn't gone off like I had hoped, but Zeke Elliott I think will. So I think Zeke Elliott will start eating full course meals here moving forward. So Elliott for Cook, it could end up being an upgrade, but it's at least equal in my opinion. Cook, I don't want to say Cook will break down, but I think the fact that Elliott hasn't been overworked is a good thing. Cook's been used a ton, so there's a really good chance that Zeke stays healthy. I think moving forward, not that Cook won't, but it's not a bad move to make, especially if you can get Brady, get rid of Brady and get Zach Ertz. So look at this team. Josh Gordon. I saw Josh Gordon comment in here earlier. I don't know what to say to you as far as whether you should get rid of Josh Gordon or not, cut him. It all depends on who you can pick up. But Gordon got banged up tonight. Does anybody know if he's okay? I can pull up the news here in a second. But I think that it may be time to put Gordon on the bench. I don't know about cut him, depends on your options, but it's time to maybe put Gordon on the bench, depending on his injury. I don't know the extent of his injury real quick. Let's load it up. So he injured his left knee. We don't know if it's a tear, but it says rolled up in an ugly fashion, mixing it up at the end of the second quarter, interception. If it's torn and he's out, then obviously you cut him. But if he's going to return in a week or something, then I think it's time to let's move all this graphics over. They're kind of in my face. There, I'll do that. So, yeah, I don't know how bad it is, though. No one really knows, but didn't look good. But we've seen players look like they've torn their ACL and are out for the year, and then they're not. Hit the thumbs up on your way in. Wipe your feet at the front door. Here's your like. Shoot, Smitty. Some likes, y'all. Yeehaw, says Jake. Jake, I'm going to put your comment up. Late to the party, says Doobie. Doobie, don't worry. We just got started. Let's get in the news real quick, and then we'll go into so the reaction real quickly on the Patriots side of the football. Sonny Michel, 22 carries for 86 yards. Decent game. I mean, not amazing. He had 2 catches for 27 yards. Bolden had 22 yards. Bolden had 23 rushing yards off 3 carries and 1 TD. And Tom Brady scored the 2 rushing TDs. So Tom Brady didn't have the worst game, actually, when you look at the rushing TDs. But certainly not excited about the who predicted the rushing TD, or at least one of them was Gronk. But not excited about Tom Brady not throwing any TD passes. So State of Mind scored okay on that. Let's go look at our team real quick. Let me plug in and see our matchup. Or we're not playing him, but I want to see how he scored with Tom Brady. Throne League. So here's our roster in the Throne League. I showed that a second ago. Let's go to the scoreboard. State of Mind. So he did okay with 25 points for Brady. That's not bad. So wipe your feet, John. Thank you. What's up, Edward? The way his ankle foot tweaked, it looked like he's done. Yeah, so if he's hurt, come back, Antonio Brown. I don't know if any of you are picking up to Antonio Brown, but he's tweeting and Instagram posting about how he may return, or he may want to return. He wishes he could return. So news. So I'm done with this. I'll just actually X that out. Now we're going to get into the news. I'm going to try and keep these topics updated so that when people follow along, they know what topic we're on. So we'll do this now that it's lower. Let's get into the news. Rob Gronkowski said on his, let me get this smaller. Rob Gronkowski said on during the pregame that he would not rule out coming back. And the way he said it, thanks, Mark. The way he said it makes me think that there's a pretty darn good chance that Rob Gronkowski ends up playing at some point this year, especially if Gordon's done. I think that's going to motivate him slightly. But what was nice and refreshing about Gronk's answers, Gronk wasn't trying to like dance around it. Gronk was being honest, man. And they're like, would you return? This is his first day with his new crew doing the pre-game stuff. And they're like, would you ever return? He's like, I think he said something about he's always on his mind. And that if he got that itch, he'd come back. So I think that there's a chance. And I don't know if you guys should pick him up. I don't know if any of you are looking to pick up Gronk right now, but there's a chance he comes back. I don't know how effective he'd be. I don't know if he'd be in football shape, but it says right here in the pregame, I would have to be feeling it big time to come back. It's always going to be open. It's always going to be open in my mind. So the talk is nice, but Gronk is already running out of time. But I mean, in Dynasty, maybe, because you might get him. Like, what if you were to return for another year, next year? This is the big news here. So Todd Gurley missed practice on Thursday with the quad contusion. There's a lot of talk about Todd Gurley potentially missing Week 6. Gurley's status, it appears encouraging. Let's see, hold on one second. There's yet to be a single encouraging sign as to Gurley's Week 6 status. It appears that the Rams will be forced to lean on Malcolm Brown as their 70 to 75% with untested rookie Darrell Henderson. I don't know where people get these percentages from, because if it's coming from the team, you can't trust anything the Rams say. Now, that could be that they don't play Henderson at all. That could go that way too, because the Rams cannot be trusted. But I hope that they get him in there, and I hope that Henderson gets at least 10 total touches. And if Gurley's out, I believe he will. But this coaching staff, they're moronic in how they talk about, use, and deploy their running backs. And they lie about it. They tell you that Gurley won't be on a snap count, but yet they will limit him and say, well, we're just limiting him. It's not that he's on a snap count. We're just limiting the guy. And I've been taking a lot of heat all season long, and all season long from week 1 to now about you were wrong about Henderson, and I back off when I'm wrong, and I tell you and I admit it. I say that, yeah, I should have been higher on Chris Carson. I should have been higher on Lamar Miller. We all have those damn calls that don't work out, right? But this is one where I'm not at all ready to admit any sort of defeat, because Darrell Henderson there was a very good chance that he wouldn't even be used or deployed at all in a good way until later in the year. So I don't understand why exiting week 5, people are like, aren't you going to admit that you screwed up on Hendy? Aren't you going to admit that Todd Gurley didn't bust? Todd Gurley has essentially busted in a big way this year. If you drafted him at the tail end of August or in the early weeks of September, you paid a 11 to 14 overall value. So don't tell me that Gurley is delivering the kind of value you paid for. He's not. Gurley is scoring touchdowns, but he's still outside the top 12, 13, 14 running backs on the year. So don't tell me that Gurley hasn't disappointed. He has. And you can't tell me that Darrell Henderson's never going to hit the field. This is football, as I've been saying all week. This is not baseball. This is football, where you can't predict something based on an average halfway through the year. You can enter in week 10 and be, from that point on, the best running back per start from week 10 on. Like, there's no question about it. I'm not saying Henderson will be that. I'm not saying anybody's going to come in and play and finish as a top 10 running back playing week 10 on. But I'm just saying why people act like week 5 is it. If your guy isn't broken out by week 5, like, what are you doing? Why are you still believing him? Why are you still talking about him? Let's get into questions. Not much other news on there other than go get Daryl Henderson if he's on waivers. And start worrying about Gurley because I think the breakdown's coming. All right, hit me with the questions. Super chats get to the front of the line. And now, topic. Hit me with it. What's good, Parker? Well, only a matter of time before he's done. I agree, Computer Bob. Talking about Gurley. Someone offered me Mike Thomas and Gurley for Lamar Jackson. I take that in a heartbeat, assuming you can weather through the loss of a QB. But, dude, I'm not even talking about the Gurley part. Mike Thomas for Lamar? I take Mike Thomas alone for Lamar. McLaurin or Gallup? I'd probably go Gallup at this stage, but man, McLaurin's hard to sit. And we talked about that last live. Trade Odell for the Pats D? Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know that I could do that, but I'm not saying you shouldn't. That's a tough one. Posner, what are your feelings on Golden Tate moving forward? Wide receiver 3 material moving forward. Loving the new hat. It's actually the same hat. It's just forward. But thank you. That's my favorite brand from back in the day, man. They don't even make it anymore. You got to like order it online. Eddie, should I start Tate or is there a better waiver wire option? T.Y. Hilton and Tyrell Williams are on a bye. Eddie, you got to tell me who's on your waiver wire, sir. But Pringle, I think I'd go maybe pick up Pringle. Pringle's not a bad option. Super chat from Mark. Thank you, Mark. Always appreciated. Great show, Smitty. Thank you, Mark. Tyreek Hill or Everett for Woods, Hooper, and Breda. I am Tyreek owner. I'm 1-4. I think you sell for something different than that. But, I mean, I'm okay with Woods. I just think you can get a little bit more. I mean, Tyreek's almost here, and that feels like, God, you're selling him at, like, value that he hasn't returned yet, and he's close to returning. So I kind of feel like you can get more, but I wouldn't fault you if you need to get a win, but I feel like you could just get something more. I feel like you can use Tyreek and another player to get a Zeke Elliott or to get Tyreek. Use Tyreek to upgrade your crappy QB. Not that you have a crappy QB. I'm just saying in general to people, to Mahomes somehow. Smitty, is that red sand? No, this is rusty. Who is Pringle, Eddie? He's the wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs that might be their number 1 right now. So go get Pringle. Eddie, you got to stop repeating everything. Okay? Not over and over. Once in a while is okay. Wipe your feet on the way in, says Sand. Thank you, Sand. What's going on in Tukey over there? What's up, Lit? Eddie, you've asked this question like 4 times already. Come on. Stop repeating it. It messes with the chat, man, when your questions over and over and over and over and over and over. No problem. No problem, Eddie. 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 Just kidding. Just busting your chops. Just busting your chops. Just busting your chops. How's it feel, Eddie? How's it feel, Eddie? How's it feel, Eddie? Smitty, would you start Pringle this week if Hill doesn't play? Yes, I would. I'm trying to trade for Mahomes. About to get the job done. Elijah, tell us what you're doing. What should we do with Odell and Evans? Odell, I don't know that you can do anything about it. Like, who's going to give you anything for Odell? So you got to wait. Evans, you better not trade him low. Dude is a top 5 to 7 wide receiver in fantasy. Why do people not feel this way? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Evans had 190 plus yards and 3 TDs during one single week this year. I think he had like 78 yards in a TD or 80 yards in a TD another week. Evans hasn't bust. Just because Evans didn't show up in 1 week, people are ready to act like he's a bust. Do not sell Evans low. Trade him. Trade him. It's like that Seinfeld episode where you're not taking care of your team, like when Jerry's not taking care of his car and his mechanic steals his car and goes on a road trip and then calls Jerry and is like, Jerry, I've got the car on the road. I've taken it. Like, I want to take over some of his team when they want to get rid of Mike Evans. Not saying you're going to get rid of him. I'm just speaking in general.
Top 5 running.
Whoops.
Take a lap. Take a lap.
Not the Mike Evans owner. I was just doing that. Doing that for Seclan, who's saying, take a lap, Eddie. Eddie, you're okay. We're cool. You just gotta pump the brakes on it is all. Super chat from Jake. Thank you, Jake. Trade Edelman for Josh Jacobs? Absolutely. Like, no question about it. If Gordon's out for the year, it makes it more arguable, but you still got to do it. Jacobs is a starting running back. He just blew up against the Bears. That's a good deal. Nailed it. Diggs worth a roster spot. I don't know. Depends on the options, but yeah. Smitty, Melvin Gordon, or take the chance on David Johnson. I don't know that you're taking a chance on David Johnson. I trade Melvin Gordon for David Johnson straight up without any hesitation. Not that Melvin Gordon can't get there, but David Johnson's already there. So, Rico, that's an easy call. Easy call. Mark with the super chat. Damn, Mark, you're a baller. I've got to get like a super chat leaderboard up here, not based on necessarily amount or anything like that, but when you bring it and you're supporting the channel, and I feel it, man, like Tony, like Umberger, like Mark, like Big Timer, all of you guys, even those of you that just show up big and support it and, you know, spread the word, like Sand and now Seclam with the snacks, and add value to the show. I need to have like a value board, and for adding like just value overall to the board, and then the super chatters just need to get some more shout outs. Mark, thank you. You're keeping the lights on. On that note, since Mark just did that, I'm going to turn the lights on a little bit more. Now the show can afford to have the lights on through the whole show. I have Godwin and Evans. Trade Evans for Lockett or Chark. Mark. I can't do that to Mark. Mark just super chatted. Mark, don't trade Evans. Don't trade him. Not for Lockett, not for Chark. There's no waiting even needed. Evans is a top 5 to 7 wide receiver in my mind right now. I don't have a question about it. Anybody can get hurt. Let me get rid of this. Ask Smitty. Oops. Whoops. Yeah, don't trade Evans, man. No way. No way. Up now. God, I can't wait to watch El Camino tonight. Who's watching El Camino tonight on Netflix? They release it at midnight. It's available to all you watching right now. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being on the show versus watching El Camino right now. Maybe that's why we only have 117 in the room, or 121. It just went up to 121 instead of 250. Although we do accumulate more and more, and we have like 260 by the end of the show. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate you watching the show when El Camino's sitting at your fingertips. All right, more questions. Hit me with them. Dick says, Hilton and Singletary for Evans. I take... Now, this one's at least like borderline solid because Hilton's really good. Singletary, once he's back, will be worth this. But until Singletary comes back, the Evans side is better. Please answer. Well, if you would have put your question in here, I would have seen it. Let me scroll up. Austin, here you go. Austin, I just made a trade. I don't know how I feel. I'm 4-1. Traded Chubb and Lockett for Saquon and
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap. Take.
Austin, you traded Chubb and Lockett for Saquon and Evans, and you're mad. You're asking if if I'm upset or if you messed up. Like, I probably, if Barkley's announced back next week, I would trade Chubb and Lockett alone for Saquon, and you got Mike Evans too. Like, you just won your league. It's fantastic. You don't need my pat on the back on that, bro. You killed it. That's veto material in a lot of leagues. Wipe your feet before entering, says Ugly. What Ugly means by that is hit the thumbs up. Why are there 53 thumbs up and 3 little down thumbs? What the hell is going on here? A combined 56 thumb actions in my house with 124 in here. It's ridiculous. Sutton or Marvin Jones? Sutton. What should I try and do with Baker? I have Gardner Minshew. If I try to trade Baker, I don't think someone wants him. Yeah, I mean, that's the funniest part. No offense, Evan. But it's the funniest part when people go, what should I do with insert player doing shitty? Like, you don't have any options. You can't cut them. Or you could, depending on who's available. But if Gardner Minshew's your backup, I'm guessing there's nobody left to pick up. Not that Gardner Minshew can't do okay for you. But my guess is that you're having to stay put. There's nothing you can do with Baker. You have to wait for him to go crazy and then maybe trade him. But good question, because a lot of people are asking it. But it's funny, though. Like, there's nothing to do with a player playing bad. I think more so what you're asking is, hey, like, do I give up on him or something? It might be more of what you're trying to say, maybe, or people are trying to say on average. Thank you for the super chats, Computer Bob and Jake. I have Computer Bob asking me, is Tyreek Hill starting this week? And if he does, do I expect him to be a wide receiver 1? I don't know. Thank you for the super chats, guys. I'm putting them on the screen as they pile up. You guys are awesome. Let's look up Hill. I don't think we have any for sure at all, but I'm guessing he doesn't play. But who knows? All right, Tyreek Hill. Shoulder was limited in practice today. Meanwhile, Sammy Watkins sat out. Coach Andy Reid mentioned it's currently a timing thing with Hill, meaning it's likely looking at a game-time call. If both Hill and Watkins are out, Byron Pringle, who we're talking about earlier, enters wide receiver 3 streaming like territory after he had 103 yards and a touchdown in last week and broke out. Hill returns being a no-doubt wide receiver 1 if active. That's from Roto World. And Tony with the super. Tony, only put you on screen here with the others, and I'm rolling through the super chats. Damn glad to see you here, kind sir. So to answer that question, who was asking that? It was Computer Bob. I don't think he plays, but anything can happen. I don't have a read on this one other than it sounds really crazy for them to throw him out there early. So my guess is he doesn't play. But wait and see. And join me on my morning show 1 hour before kickoff where we'll talk about that. Okay, so Devin, I'll get to your question in a second, but not that way, bro. That's not going to get you an answer. That's going to get a mod that put you in timeout. Don't do it, mods. I don't want you to put them in timeout yet. People need extensive warning before we do anything to them. But you crowd up the chat, Delvin. I don't mind answering your question, but people don't like that. I choose to flex Chase Edmonds over Tate. Or you chose. DJ missed his second practice in a row. What do you think? I mean, Tate was guaranteed a lot more action, so Tate would have probably been the safer call. Edmonds is a backup, but there's a potential that he does something. So I do think you could get 6, 7, 8 points out of that without mod's got him already. Yeah, guys, be careful. The mod privileges, I don't mind if you put someone in timeout that's being like totally crazy, but let's give them like ample warning first. I chose. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, what's next you have for El Camino? I don't know. I need to go get something, Clan, because I didn't prepare like you do. I definitely need to go pick up something for the El Camino show that I'm watching next. So you could be okay with Chase Edmonds, but I mean clearly, Tate would have been the better play. Should have brought that to the show. Maybe you did, Clan. I don't know, but Henderson flex worthy of Gurley sits. We got a Polycat. We got to see if they're going to play him. I assume they will, but Jake was up first. Odell Beckham Jr. on the Patriots, best fantasy wide receiver in the league. I don't know, Jake, if he would be the way that they, I would say yeah. Look what Antonio Brown did. I think Tom Brady and the Patriots can still make a wide receiver like that capable of being an elite. I don't think they've ruined wide receivers. They could ruin wide receivers, but Odell's nothing right now. So I'm not saying give up on Odell, but I would welcome that move. That would be amazing if that happened. Jake, if that happens, we're going to talk about you on this show. Tony with the super chat. Smitty, should I be looking to trade away Tyler Boyd? I just don't feel comfortable with any Bengals players right now. I would definitely sell high, Tony, if you can. Definitely. And if you package him with another player, you could probably get a damn good upgrade. Throw Boyd in with Chubb and get Zeke. Throw Boyd in with Lamar Jackson, or maybe even a lesser QB than that, and get Mahomes. You may have Mahomes already. Throw Boyd in with... You could trade Boyd straight up for like an Ertz, something like that. Thank you for the super chats, kind people. Let's see what Delvin's question was. I want to know. Delvin. Is Delvin here? I hope you guys didn't ban Delvin. Please don't ban any. Maybe talk to me before you ban anybody. All right, mods. You heard? You heard? Where's Delvin's question? Delvin, I'm looking. Delvin. I can't find it. Are you changing your mind on Edelman being worth a 4th round pick? No. I think he could maybe earn that now if Gordon's out for the year. But I think Edelman's probably worth more like a 5th round pick if Gordon's out for the year. Then I don't think that's crazy. Could he earn 4th round value moving forward? It's not crazy to think he could. But I just wasn't willing to buy that. Buy him at that price. Lit says trade McCoy for David Montgomery. I probably would and then wait. I probably would. I know that sounds like a lot of people would. I feel like a lot of people would be like, no, don't do that. Give up on Monty. But I'm not giving up on Monty. I'm just waiting for Monty. I have Lamar Jackson, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, DJ Chark, DJ Moore, Evan Ingram, Ronald Jones. Rate my team. To get Amari, you'd have to buy Amari really high, and I don't know that I'd do that. I'd go after a Hopkins right now. And you could go after a Hopkins using Aaron Jones. You could go after a Hopkins using Chark and I don't know, you could start with Chark. People are crazy about Hopkins right now. Go get Mike Evans for Chark. I've got asked that question in here once or twice already this live and answer questions like that on my Instagram comments. People are like, would you rather have Evans or Chark? So clearly you could maybe do it. People are talking about it. Go get Evans. If I could assemble a team right now, buying low on Evans, Zeke Elliott, Aaron Rodgers, so Mike Evans, Zeke Elliott, Aaron Rodgers, and DeAndre Hopkins, I could win a league with a smaller amount than $200 in an auction if you equated that trade value with auction dollars. It's amazing what you could buy right now. McLaurin or Hooper. I go McLaurin. Jake, Brady, Kamara, Chubb, Edelman, Lockett, Walker, Ridley, Pats D, 3 and 2. Have Sutton and Chris Thompson. Not bad. I think if you traded, I would look to shop Edelman high. I would look to maybe shop Sutton high, but try and buy these buy lows that I'm talking about now, Jake, and get yourself a guy that you shouldn't have on that roster, and then you win. Then you're by far better than everybody else. Fuller or Ridley week 6. I think you go with the momentum. Well, that's almost coin toss material right there. Fuller or Ridley. Probably go Fuller, but I love Ridley, man. I think he's going to be a star. If David Johnson is out for the Sunday, what's your stat line prediction for Edmonds? I'd say 90 to 100 total yards and about a 50% chance of a TD if he's starting and he's the main guy. Trevor with the super chat. Who to start in my super flex? Hyde, Keenum, or Flacco? Depends on your scoring and how well a Flacco's game pits against a Hyde contest. So if Flacco's consistently outscoring Hyde's stat line from last week, I would say his stat line from last week is probably going to be your best case scenario for Hyde this week. At least plan for that. Look at this. Yeah, there's Pinkman. I'm ready for El Camino tonight. So I would go with Hyde, I think, unless your QB scoring is telling you, hey, start Flacco no matter what based on your QB scoring. It's really dependent on that. Trade Mahomes and David Johnson for Watson and Barkley. Mahomes and David Johnson for Watson and Barkley. God. If Barkley were back, I would say, as much as I love Mahomes, I would probably say yes, because I think Barkley's that good and Watson's that close, at least. I mean, he's close. He's not there. He's not at Mahomes' level, but he's at least there. But right now, because Barkley's not back and we don't know, I think you roll with the Mahomes side. Let me drag some of these questions on screen. Sutton over Samuel Sutton. Drop O.J. Howard for Madison? Yes, I would. And grab Josh Allen and Bills D. Not bad moves, I guess. Dan Smitty, I've been thinking the same thing. I've tried to trade Edelman and Jacobs, but Jacobs' owner wanted me to also trade the Pats D. Yeah, you can't trade the Pats D right now. Smitty, last week I traded Ryan for Brissett. This week I traded Mike Williams and Debo for Breda. What are your thoughts? It's not bad. I mean, Breda's okay, but I'd rather have Debo in a dynasty league, though, probably. I hate to say that, Brent, but just being honest, I like Debo a lot. Rojo, MVS, or Tate from Cincy in a full PPR. So Tate from Cincy. I know this is going to be a little on the bolder side, but I go MVS. I have faith that Rodgers will get it going with him this week, so I'm going to go MVS on that. But it's close. Aaron Rodgers or Gardner Minshew. I'm going Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm not bailing on him. Cup for Bell straight up. I'd probably take Bell because Darnold's back, but I would not blame anybody for wanting to keep Cup over Bell. I wouldn't. It's arguable. But I think it's arguable both ways. I think a lot of people that are huge Cooper Kupp fans, they'll probably tell you it's not arguable, but I think it is. I think the honest truth is I wouldn't blame anybody for keeping Kupp. D-Hop and carry on for Michael Thomas and Philip Lindsay. I would take D-Hop and carry on Johnson. Probably no question. Watson might eclipse Mahomes if Houston's O-line keeps playing like they did last week. I think he'll have a cup of coffee MT. I don't think he'll eclipse him, but I think he'll definitely be there at times with him. And he's by far my number 2 QB, which is why I said over a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, buy Watson before it's too late. And I'm telling you right now, buy DeAndre Hopkins before it's too late. Buy Zeke Elliott before it's too late. Buy George Kittle, even though he had a decent game last week. Buy him before it's too late. And Aaron Rodgers, if you're in a bind at QB and you want to pay a super cheap price, go buy Aaron Rodgers. Go pick up Darrell Henderson before it's too late. There's a lot of good moves to be made this week to better your team via trade, and then Henderson and wait on waivers. Pringle on waivers. If you're dying at tight end and you have the worst tight end in the league, go look at Fells, the Houston Texans tight end. Fells had a pretty solid game last week. I think he had 2 TDs. And Fells is like on waivers in like 90% of leagues that I'm looking at. Sell Odell Beckham low? No. It depends on what you sell him for, but no. Keep him. Why sell low? For what? I want somebody else have him go off? I'm not saying he's a lock to bounce back, but why do that? Hey, Smitty, should I trade Tevin Coleman or Monty for Ridley? I would trade either for Ridley, but only one of them. And I'd probably rather give up Tevin Coleman for Ridley and wait on Monty. I know that might be, some people might say, but Coleman looked good, but it's a very crowded backfield. You have people telling me that Breda's going to be a star still, or that Coleman, I mean, everyone's got a different opinion on which San Francisco back is going to be the guy. And yeah, some games they'll all be good, but not every game. So I'd get rid of Coleman while he's healthy, and he is very injury prone. Go get Ridley, wait on Monty. Monty and Ebron for Kittle, absolutely. Go get Kittle. Start at running back 2, Malcolm Brown if Gurley doesn't play, or Tevin Coleman. I say Malcolm Brown. My bench has, this is a long one. The long ones are hard because I'm trying to roll through these. My bench has 4 slots for some reason. Got Woods, Goff, Mack, and Monty on the bench. Should I drop someone for Watkins, Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Marvin Jones, Golden Tate? Woods, Goff, Mack, Monty. No, I don't think I make any drops. Maybe Tate, but who do you drop? No, I don't think you can drop anybody. Dede or Cooks, I go... I don't know if I start... I keep saying Dede. I don't know if I go Dede, Westbrook. I think I go Cooks right now. Diggs or Chark this week. Thanks, Smith. No problem, Yogi. I say Chark. You can't bench Chark. Chark. It's always Chark. Wipe my feet. Let's go. Thank you, Joe. 169 in the room, but only 69. Thumbs up. You guys did that on purpose, didn't you? Hit the thumbs up, please. Wipe your feet when you come in the show's house. Please. It helps the channel grow. You're here for a reason. Let's grow it. Grow the thing. Got here. Oh, I just read that. Take a lap, Smitty. What up, Smitty? We're starting Edmonds and Malcolm Brown to or Chris Thompson. I go Malcolm Brown for sure if Gurley's out, and everyone's saying she start Henderson. We don't know yet. Let's wait until the news kind of cooks up. Maybe Gurley even plays, you know what I mean? But if Gurley's out and they start talking Hendy up, I don't know that I want to believe the coaching staff, but then I start talking about playing Hendy this week at flex value, but let's kind of wait and see. Sutton or Diggs? Sutton. Sorry I got here late. There was a fire in my dorm. Well, glad the place didn't burn down. Super chat from Ella. Thank you. Start 2. Cooks, Kirk, Diggs, or Pringle, Drake. I go Pringle in one of the spots if Hill doesn't play. And then I probably roll with Cooks, assuming he's healthy and ready to play. I just feel like those are the two best options. Kirk is going to be kind of hit and miss. And make sure he's healthy if you do end up going with him. Diggs, I don't trust right now, but he's capable of a big game. Diggs could have 100 and a touchdown, or he could have freaking 40 yards on 2 catches. And it's hard to trust him right now. Drake, I don't trust. But Drake, Drake could do good at any moment too, but he could also do bad for like 10 straight games. Pringle is a wide receiver from the Chiefs. Yes, he is. Who's a good wide receiver to back up Hopkins and Kupp just in case? Pringle. Pringle. Trade Juju or Monty for Odell. Trade Monty for No. I guess I trade Monty for Odell on the off chance that... I mean, both of them are, struggling. Tom says, I got school in the morning. I try and get to all the comments. I love how people throw sad faces up. I mean to ignore you. There's so many comments coming through. It's great. It's a great problem to have. I love it. I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. But I don't see everything. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I have Gurley, Aaron Jones, Royce Freeman, Juju, Boyd, Tom Brady, Mark Andrews. Can you help me come up with a trade for a better flex? Gurley, Jones, Royce, Freeman, Juju, Boyd, Tom Brady, Mark Andrews. So let's look at this. What guys do you have going crazy? You can't trade anybody low. You can't trade Gurley now. It's too late to trade Gurley now. You shouldn't have drafted him and listened to me, or traded him on the high when he was scoring TDs. But that ship has sailed. You can't trade Gurley. You can't trade him on the low. Tom Brady, I guess you could if you had another QB, but if he's your starting QB, why would you trade him? But Tom Brady did have the 2 rushing TDs this week. But tonight, maybe somebody buys him low. But your main guys to sell high are Boyd, Mark Andrews, and Aaron Jones. So I would get rid of Aaron Jones and Mark Andrews if you had a shot at a better tight end or another tight end you could pick up, a better tight end than a scrub. Andrews and Aaron Jones for Zeke. Brady and Boyd for Watson or Mahomes. Camaro using your Aaron Jones and Andrews, or your Aaron Jones and potentially Boyd. Juju and Andrews for Hopkins. Boyd and Andrews for Hopkins. Aaron Jones straight up for Hopkins. I don't know that you can do that if you have other... I don't know if you have other running backs, if you're just listing the guys you want to talk about trading. But those are several options that I would take. Thanks again for the super chat. Are you buying the hype on Fuller? Well, I said to start him, so I think I was selling the hype myself. So you're asking one of the manufacturers if they like their own product, and the answer is yes. I'm trading Kyler, Juju, and Coleman for Mahomes. Kyler, Juju. Yeah, I love that. Go get Mahomes. Yeah, buddy. Yes, on Fuller hype, homie gets massive air yards. Yes, he does. Like some of the best air yards in the league. He always gets hurt, but you start him when he's playing. I'm in a full PPR league. I'm looking to package Odell, James White to get an upgrade wide receiver running back. What players can you target? Let's see. Odell and James White for Hopkins. I mean, like literally these players are the same players I'm repeating all day, which is fine. I'm not saying I'm tired of saying it. But Hopkins, go get him now. Juju. Why not? Why not trade Odell for Juju? I'd do it. Mike Evans. I've said it all day. Go get Mike Evans. Go get Hopkins. Go get Zeke Elliott. Buy Camaro if he's low. Go get Aaron Rodgers if the price is right. These are guys that can win you a league if you do the smart thing and get them now. Super chat from Jake. Ridley, Sutton, or Thompson at flex. I think I go Ridley, but you're not crazy to go Sutton. You could go either one. I think they could score roughly the same, but I think I roll the dice on Ridley. I just feel like he has a little bit more big playability. Sutton's been making some big plays, though, so it sounds funny to say. But I think Flacco's been serviceable, but I just worry a little bit about him. Not that I don't worry about Matt Ryan here and there. Could Super Bowl? Damn Patriots. I'm going with the KC Chiefs, man. Drop Hawkinson for D. Walker. I like Hawkinson. I think Hawkinson comes around. I traded Melvin and Hollywood for Camara. Excellent job, Cameron. That's how you roll. That's how you do it. Nice work, peoples. Get us to 100 thumbs up, please. We have 175 in the room. Adrian Peterson or Marvin Jones or MVS at flex. I go MVS. I have a good feeling that MVS will do something. I think Aaron Rodgers gets that back on track, and I think MVS has something to do with that. You think the 49ers defense are for real? I do, and I don't bet against them even this week with a tougher matchup or a matchup people predict that they won't do well. I take the gamble that they, playing the Rams, that they score points. They find ways to score points, or at the very least, you're starting them because they're your number one defense, and you're not gonna drop them or necessarily carry 2 Ds. Then you take the gamble that they may not have as big a game as normal, but they're doing well, and they look very solid. Jeff, Watson, Odell, Mike Thomas, Hill, Edelman, Ridley, Lindsey, Thomas, Malcolm Brown, Kelsey, Everett. I feel like I'm one big running back trade away from being dominant. Advice. Again, let's look at your sell highs. You can't sell Tyreek Hill. Wait on them. You could sell Edelman high. You could sell Lindsey high. I get rid of Lindsey and Edelman and try and get a Mike Evans. Don't just force yourself to go running back. I know you don't have any running backs listed. If this is all you have, then it'd be hard to trade Lindsey. So if you're going to go after a running back only, Mac, maybe Lindsey and Edelman for Mac, something like that. You could maybe get a Chubb. Someone might be down on Chubb if they own him and do that trade. Who's a good running back to back up Elliott or Cook? Depends on who's available, man. You mean on waivers? You could go after... I don't know who's... You got to tell me who's available. It's really hard for me to guess on that. Hit the thumbs up, says William. William using his big, massive sized brain. William knows what he's talking about. Wentz or Prescott? I'd probably go... So Dak against the Jets. Or Minnesota. I go Dak. But that's a tough one. Edmonds or Connor? What? Edmonds isn't even a lock to play. I gotta look this up, Rick. Because I feel like you saying that makes it like that DJ's for sure out. And I don't see that. So why would you even consider benching Connor? I don't get that. Connor, if Edmonds isn't out,
take a lap.
DJ isn't out, that's take a lap material, bro. I go Hawk, but everybody seems to be on the Fant train this week. Maybe I'm missing something. But the guy hasn't done anything yet. I go Hawk. Hawk had a big game in week 1. Yeah, he's kind of vanished. He got hurt. But I think Hawk is a beast. We all thought Hawk was top 4 or 5 overall tight end coming out of week 1. And we're all going to forget our feelings about that and pretend we never said that. Pretend we never thought that or leaned that way. Let's not pretend. Let's realize why we did it. We saw a beast in the making. He's not just a guy that had a big stat line. He was an animal on the field. So I'm pretty confident that he'll continue to do well. It's just taking him time. He's getting healthy. Thank you for the super chat, Jordan. Pick 1. Demarcus Robinson, Emmanuel Sanders, Auden Tate. Sleeper flex is Malcolm Brown, ? Should I drop one of the 3 options to pick up Malcolm Brown? I would rather start Malcolm Brown than all of those options, yes. Not that D-Rob couldn't go off at any moment he could, but Malcolm Brown, if he's playing and starting, and we could find out that Henderson's a better start last minute. We don't know. But for right now, Malcolm Brown, pick up Malcolm Brown and Hendy and wait Jordan because you'll have a starting running back at some point, I think. Thank you for the super chat, Malcolm Brown. You're not crazy to go in another direction, but that's what I do. Thank you for the super chat, Ella. Drop Daryl 1L Williams for Henderson. Yes, I would do that. Kyler or Minshew. I probably go... That's a tough one. Can you guys help Ella out with that? Below, can you post in the chat whether you start Kyler or Minshew? I want to hear your thoughts. Probably say Minshew. Oh, man. You guys think of Minshew safer? Dylan, how do you become a mod? You gotta prove it, man. You prove it, then I make you a mod. Not everybody can be a mod, though. I can't make everyone a mod, but I have some of my trusted people that have been here from the beginning. But I will give a shout out to my mods and also say, please don't ban anyone for just repeating themselves over and over. We gotta warn them. You can lean to me and I'll say, punch it if I want you to do something, but let's give people the benefit of the doubt, even if they're being annoying. Kyler, Minshew. I think that settles it, Ella. You got a majority of the people. Groupthink is always a good way to go. When I'm on the fence, I turn to groupthink. And I think I would lean on the group here saying Kyler. So hopefully that helps you. Thank you for the super chat. And yes, go get Hendy. Get Malcolm Brown, too, if Malcolm Brown's there. Ray with the super chat. Fitz or Diggs, and or should I drop Diggs for MVS? Oh, God. I don't know that I drop Diggs, but I feel like MVS will have a better week, but that sucks because I don't want you to drop either Fitz or Diggs, but I want you to start MVS. Fitz is kind of steady-ish. Diggs is very risky, but good reward, maybe. High risk, high reward. MVS feels like he's got risk, too. But I feel like he's due. You guys think drop Fitz or Diggs? Which one for MVS, or roll with one of Fitz or Diggs? And if so, who? Let's help out Ray. We leaned on each other as a community. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and please hit the thumbs up on your way in. Do I think... And please help Ray out. Do you think I should try to move Monty? Depends on what for, but I'm holding Monty because I don't think you can trade him for anything that's going to be productive. Play Fitz, says one person. A lot of tough questions tonight, Computer Bob. Yes, sir, there are. They're always twish. They're always twish. They're always tough. I can't talk. I think when I'm up too late, my mouth isn't working anymore. Not that it's late, but I mean I'm on like 4 hours sleep. Play Fitz. Fitzgerald. I would never drop Fitz on principle. Goat. Don't drop play Fitz. Roll with Fitz. There you have it. Ray. Unanimous Fitz, pretty much. Yogi says MVS has done nothing. There you go, Fitz. I go Fitz. Go with the group think. I like the way this group thinks. We are oftentimes, I think, like-minded people. So when I feel like I'm on the fence, I do lean to the group. I do think MVS is a decent play and pick up and play this week if you're hurting at wide receiver. But with Fitz, yeah, I don't know that you're hurting. I'd probably roll with the steady guy. I'm in agreement with my crew. Smitty, what are your thoughts on Chubb and Keenan, Kareem Hunt? I think you got to grab them just in case something happens. So, no question. Daniel with the super chat. Thank you, Daniel. Jordan Howard and Tyrell Williams for Hunter Henry and MVS. I'm stacked at running back and wide receiver and having a tight end at nothing at tight end. I go after, honestly, I don't know that Hunter Henry's going to do much. He could. Trust your gut on this, but I don't think you're giving up too much for him. So if you feel it, you like Hunter Henry, go for it. But I almost like Fells better. It's probably on waivers, 2 TDs last week. He's in a really good offense in Houston. Deshaun Watson seems to be interested in leaning on him lately. Not saying he can't vanish completely. And I'm not saying Hunter Henry can't be a top 6 tight end, but The dude doesn't stay healthy at all. But for that trade, if you're stacked and these are like extras you'll never play, why don't you do that and get Fells to back them up, and then kind of make your call for this week and then move forward in that fashion. So thank you for the super chat, but I don't object to that trade. I mean, if you're never going to use those guys, and then just look at picking up Fells anyways. Hope that helps you. Hunter Henry's going to lose targets due to Eckler's growth. That's true. Larry Fitz or Damian Williams for flex. That's a tough call. I think you got to join me on my live on Sunday morning so we know what Damian's workload looks like, because we kind of feel like that's a game time info gathering type situation. But Fitz is probably your safer play. So if you want to go safe, you can't check in the morning, you need to make a decision before game time, go Fitz and be safe. He really is safe. I have Mike Thomas, A-Rob, Mixon, Monty, Marvin Jones, Goff. I'm 0-5. Oh, I feel like there's no trade I can make. Mike Thomas is my only valuable piece. Sorry, Paul. Paul, that's why you play in multiple leagues. Just in case like some bad things happen, you can rebound. Monty hurt. He hurt a lot of us, but obviously you needed more depth to kind of weather through that. You didn't have it. I don't blame you. I have a league where I believe I have one league where I'm 1 win. So I don't blame you. Everybody, it happens to the best of us, man. Mixon, I try and trade. Thomas, you could maybe trade for like Evans and get a little bit more. Like, look and see what running back the Evans owner has and trade him Mike Thomas for his Evans and upgrade your Mixon into a slightly better running back that he might have. Or if he has a better QB, try and upgrade Goff. The other option you could do that and another move. You could do, let's see here. Or you could go after Juju, get Juju and a player, like let's say someone had Melvin Gordon and they're like, I'm done with Melvin Gordon, I'm tired of him. You could trade Mike Thomas for Melvin Gordon and Juju. That wouldn't be bad. Something like that. That's kind of what I'd be looking to do. Big Timer with a super chat. Thank you, Big Timer. My man, he says. My man. No, Big Timer, you're the man. William says William. And he gives me one of these, and one of these. I get all three. Thank you, William. Thank you, Big Timer. You guys rock. Thanks, William, again. Appreciate it. Double A. Big, thoughts on future draft pick for players in redraft. Thoughts on future draft picks for players in redraft? You mean that in your redraft league, not a dynasty league, you actually can trade for a redraft pick the next year using players? That's kind of interesting. In the 16 years that I've played fantasy football Double A, and I'm a dinosaur, and I've played in every league you can think of. I've played on my fantasy league, Yahoo. I haven't played on Yahoo in a little while, though. ESPN, expert leagues, not expert leagues. So-called we are experts on Instagram when they've never proven anything. A lot of Instagram people claim to be experts, and they just pop up out of nowhere. Best #1 page on Instagram, and you look at them, and they got 4 followers. Everybody claims to be an expert on Instagram. I'm in every league you could think of, and I've never heard of that, where in a redraft league, you can trade for a future redraft pick by giving up a player now. It's almost like cheating in a way, borrowing something that's not on the table now. Like, hey, I'll give you $10 for your player. That's what that feels like to me, but it's kind of a cool feeling if it's controlled and everybody knows it's going on and everybody's playing by the same rules. I like that. If that's what you're saying, Double A, are you? If so, that's a crazy idea I've never heard in my 16 years. But I'm okay with that, depending on what you're giving up. But if you give me an example, but that's crazy if that's what you mean. Probably not Beerco next week, Big Timer. I'm hoping we'll find out. I hope so. Jake, Smitty, I'm interested in your actual opinion. So you want me to not lie to you, Jake? I can do that. Do you think Kareem Hunt will take over when he's back in Week 11? Do I need to trade Chubb high? Let me throw Double A's comment on here because he's answering it. So I would say, Jake, I don't think he's taking the job. Hell no. Chubb is very talented, but Chubb could get hurt. I don't think it's out of the question to think that he'll get hurt. I also don't think it's out of the question that Hunt steals a lot of his work in the receiving department because Hunt's a very good receiver. But I think he's a must-get, and I do sell Chubb high if you can, but it depends on if you can sell him high. I trade Chubb and a receiver for Zeke. I trade Chubb for Mike Evans right now, straight up. No question. That's me. I'm crazy. A lot of people don't like my style, but I'd rather have Evans. And the fact is you can get more, probably. You could probably get Evans and something, so do that. I'm not telling you don't get more. I'm just telling you value for value. I have Evans higher. Thanks, Timer. We keep running into players quitting, trying to find ways to keep it motivated, Double A says. We have had the same players since 2014. Oh, so you're not in a redraft league. You said redraft, I thought. Since 2004, I think about ways of members to stay motivated. Apparently, the $100 buy-in isn't enough. Okay, so now I can better answer that question. I was pretty sure, Double A, you said that it was a redraft league. But that isn't, if that's not what you meant, that's a great idea and concept we all just came up with together then. A redraft league where there's no keepers or anything, where you can trade your future draft pick based on making a trade now. Like I'm going to trade in my redraft league where we redraft every year, there's no keepers. I'm going to trade my second round pick for your player now. The only problem with that, Double A, is that would get people to quit the league. Like if you traded your future away and you didn't win, and then you walk into the next year with no picks, you're gonna pull this. This is what you're going to pull. Hey guys, I'm a little busy this year. I don't think I can do the league again. And then the person bails. So that's the downside. But Double A, what you do is you have a deposit. So Double A, make sure you take a $25 deposit. And you get that from everybody. And then if somebody quits, you can use that $25, or let's say it's half the entry fee. So if it's a $100 entry fee, then you take a $50 deposit. And if someone quits the league, then instead of $50 going toward the entry fee or that deposit just staying in a league safe account or however you do it, that $50 goes toward the owner that you got to convince to take over the team because you're going to give them some incentive. Or you put that $50 toward their entry fee. Or you come up with an entire entry fee deposit. Everybody puts in together so that someone takes over the league. They play for free that year, still get to compete for the money, and the deposit pays for it or whatever. That deposit being from the person that quit. So the quitter pays for the person's full entry fee for the year. That'll get people to stay. So I hope I answered your question, Jake. I sell high on Chubb by getting Evans. I go get Zeke, give up Chubb and another player. Go get Camino, giving up Chubb and another player. Those are just a couple options for you. Mark with the super chat. Alex with the super chat. Where's the other Alex? I haven't seen him here in forever. And Tony, are you still here? What would it take for you to trade CMC? I had an interesting conversation with the RSF 49ers on Instagram, who I go live with at halftime of every Thursday night game. If you aren't following me on Instagram, please do. I go live with RSF 49ers every halftime. And he's a physical therapist, and he has his doctorate in physical therapy. And we talked about Christian McCaffrey. Now, I want to preface this up front. I don't want any people thinking I hate Christian McCaffrey or I'm trying to predict his decline in 2019. If I'm drafting right now, McCaffrey's number one, no question. If you don't think McCaffrey's the number one running back, there's Tony. Tony's still here. Good. If you don't think McCaffrey's the number one running back, how are you doing in your leagues, Tony? Tell us your record on some of those. If you don't think McCaffrey's the number one running back right now, I can't help you. So he's the number one. But we talked about McCaffrey long term and how they're overworking this guy. He's a littler guy to begin with. And they're giving him a pace of carries that will have him at like 336 or 340. And then that would be the craziest thing in the world, I guess. It would be bad to give him 300 carries after his huge workload last year. He was a part of that offense more than I think any other running back was a part of their offense last year. So they've fed McCaffrey already to the tune of, I think it was 440 something touches he's going to have between rushing and receiving. That's going to break him. And I'm really worried about his dynasty value if they continue on this course. But what would it take to trade him this year? So all that said, if we're talking redraft, I don't know that there's... You'd have to give me like Hopkins and Kamara. You'd have to give me Mahomes and Mike Evans for me to consider trading. And let's say I had no quarterback for me to consider trading McCaffrey. Past that, like, I'm not trading the guy. He's carrying you on a weekly basis, and he'll continue. But they're feeding him too much, and I worry about his dynasty value. Thank you for the super chat, Alex. Next super chat question from Mark. Carson for Cooper. I have Zeke and Fournette. Yeah, I could see that. I'd probably rather have Cooper, to be honest. I know a lot of people in here love Carson, and I'm starting to buy into his current value. I still worry about injury. I still worry about him disappointing me, but I've been wrong up to this point in the year. He's been going crazy. And given you have Zeke and Fournette, yeah, man, I go get Cooper. Maverick says they don't care. They'll use him while they can. And I agree with you. I just am fearful of his dynasty value. Ball is life. I asked Carson for Evans last night. Still no. Oh, sorry, Ball. Did I not answer your question, Ball? Carson for Evans. I take Carson. So my answer is yes. I don't know if I told you no last night. I don't know that I would have, because I love Mike Evans. I'm not on board with this whole he's a bust or worried about him. I'm not on that train at all. So I go get Evans, bro. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Mark, and thank all of you that have dropped that. Tony says, I'm 5-0 in the Masters. Attaboy. What's your team in that league? 4-1 in the Platinum. 4-1 and 3-2 in the Golds. I drafted lots of CMC. Attaboy, Tony. Super chat, Jason. Thank you. Do I get Edmonds or Henderson off waivers? Long term, Henderson. Short term, Edmonds, because he could play this week. But I'd roll the dice. If I had to, I'd roll the dice on Hendy myself. But Gurley could play this week, and it could be a moot point. But I think I'd still wait on Hendy, because Gurley might get hurt again next week. If Gurley plays hurt, he could just potentially, aggravate things worse. So I'm not saying Hendy won't develop 2 weeks from now, but I'm just saying Hendy feels like the better long-term play and the potential play this week. Who knows? Stay tuned. I go Hendy. Jason, thank you for the super chat. Do I get Edmonds or... yeah, just answered that. Saklan, can you read my question in the chat? Not letting me talk. Yes, Saklan, I can. Let me go look. This one, Saklan? Juju plus Ridley for Julio and Waller. Julio and Waller by, I think, quite a bit, bro. Because Juju I like. I buy low on Juju, but we have to admit that his value is definitely taking a hit given that offense and what's going on with it. But I buy low. This right here, you're getting Julio, who's better for 2019 for sure. And Ridley and Waller are like equal. So you're like potentially upgrading Ridley into Waller because Waller's a tight end and he's playing well. Maybe worth a little more. Dude, you're probably getting the better end of both of those by getting Julio and Waller. That side definitely kills it. Is that the question, Saklan? You posted 5 super chats. I haven't seen them come through, so maybe it's like a card issue. Like sometimes they only take a certain... I don't know if what you've set up through there. But I got you. I think I replied to it, right, Saklan? Saklan, are you verified on Instagram? What would you be verified on Instagram for, Saklan? Are you famous? Did you not tell me? Galladay or Fitz this week? I go Galladay, man. Galladay's a wide receiver 1, trapped in a wide receiver one's body. Christian McCaffrey backup or Henderson. I probably, if you have CMC, you probably got to get the backup to CMC, who is Bonafon, if that's how you even pronounce his name. But I do consider getting Hendy as well somehow. I looked up your name on Insta and there was a verified Seclan. I don't think Seclan's verified. Seclan's famous in my mind, but I'll look up Seclan right now. And I don't think he's verified. That'd be funny if there's Saquon who's verified. Seclan is not verified. When I type in SA, the most common recommendations to me are Saquon Barkley and Seclan. You should feel proud of that, Seclan. Of all the SA people on Instagram, Instagram knows to show me you second after Saquon Barkley. You are only second to Saquon Barkley in my book, Seclan. That should make you happy. What are the odds Cook outperforms Zeke for the long run? I think 50-50. I like them both about the same moving forward, bro. That's why I made the trade in the Throne League where we traded Cook and Tom Brady for Ertz and Zeke Elliott, and we crushed it. Evans is due Jaws, and I'm on an Evans by Zeke by Hopkins. I'm putting that on screen. Even the cat thinks so. So, Mike Evans, Zeke Elliott, and DeAndre Hopkins. Must buys before week 6. If you listen to anything I tell you at all this week, this is the best advice I can give all of you for week 6. Probably for week 6 and for the rest of the year. Like, if you listen to anything I say from this point on for the rest of the year, it's go buy Mike Evans now, it's go buy Zeke Elliott now, and go buy DeAndre Hopkins now. I don't know that I can cook up any better advice than that 6 weeks, 5 weeks into this season, heading into the 6th week. I don't think I have any better advice than that. Go get Evans, go get Elliott, go get Hopkins on the cheap. I feel like that's gold. I feel like that wins you a league. I feel like that turns a 2-win team into a team that makes the playoffs and can take it deep into the playoffs and potentially win the Super Bowl. I feel like Mike Evans will never be cheaper, even next year and the year after. I don't think we'll ever see a point where his value is as low as it is right now because people are talking about wide receiver 2 or should I put him on my bench material. And Zeke Elliott may not be dirt cheap, but you can trade for him at value that's equivalent to, like, I don't know, pick 8 to 12 overall. And DeAndre Hopkins, give me a break. Everyone's calling him a bust. Not everybody, but a lot of people in comments on IG, in the comments on my YouTube channel on certain videos. These guys win you a league if you get them at the right price. I can't emphasize enough. These 3 are probably the best names I can toss out, the best advice I have that I could come up with in week 6 and maybe the rest of the year. Would you sell Evans for Connor? No. It's not crazy, but no. I feel that I'm selling high. I mean, if you need a running back, Connor isn't horrible, but I think Evans you keep. I don't think you sell Evans. You can't sell Evans high. Alex, I appreciate you. You wouldn't be crazy. Trust your gut. Connor's at least close, but Samuel's out. And assuming he stays healthy, which I don't, but assuming he does, that's good value. So it's not bad. I just would rather have Mike Evans. Need better mods at Jaws? What makes you say this? Yeah, I don't know why you're saying that. Don't make fun of my mods. And mods, don't block him for making fun of you. Thank you. I'll still say start your studs. I'm out. Good night. Thank you, Jaws. See you later. Jaws, why are you out? So Clan. That wasn't my question. I wanted answered. I wanted was he wants Juju, Ridley, and Monty for Julio, Waller, and my wide receivers will be Julio, Tate, Dalvin, Le'Veon, and Waller at tight end. What do you think? That wasn't my question that I wanted answered. What I wanted was, okay, so the guy you're trading with wants Juju, Ridley, and Monty. Juju, Ridley, Monty for Julio, Waller. I'd rather have Julio and Waller, but I'm not saying that other side couldn't work out. With Monty in the picture of that trade, right now it's in the advantage of Julio, and it probably will remain there. But if Monty gets into the lineup or gets into the 20 carry role, then he goes crazy. And I don't know that he will. Monty may never get unleashed at all. So I think the Julio side's probably better. Is that good, Sicklan? Just offer Juju and Monty for Barkley. I don't know if that'll be enough, bro. But if you get that, congratulations. We'll be proud of you. There are a lot of Camerons. What do I think about Cooper? I think Cooper Kupp's value is really high right now, and I consider selling high, but I wouldn't trade him low or trade him medium or trade him even semi-high. He's worth what he's bringing in right now. I admit it. Stop giving up on Monty. He got 20 carries the week before. I'm not giving up on Monty, John. I'm just saying you got to face reality that we're waiting. I think, if anything, I'm still believing. I'm proving I'm still believing in Monty. I'm telling everybody to just wait. You got to wait. Big Timer, peace out, bro. Appreciate you. AJ Green, a good buy low target, maybe. Smitty, who would you drop? Scary Terry, Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, or Tyrell Williams? I need to pick up the Bills D. I'd probably drop. I mean, Miles Sanders is the most worthless part of that right now, but that could change, man. Tyrell Williams is okay. I could live without him. So I probably would say that if you want to hold on to the running back value of Sanders, but that's a tough one. As a Gurley owner, 2 out of 3 leagues, hearing the news made me run and grab Malcolm Brown to protect my investment. But Wesley, the question is, are you going to go get Hendy as well? Because Wesley, Darrell Henderson is capable of being the starter at some point. He's capable of going crazy, but they're also capable on that Rams coaching staff to not use him at all. But I'm just saying, if you want to grab both, you might be protecting your investment a little bit better. Why is Sony Michel in the doghouse? I don't know. AJ Green will be traded. That would be interesting. Would you trade Juju and Chubb for Mac? Odell McLaurin. Juju and Chubb for Mac. Odell McLaurin. I'd rather have Juju and Chubb. Jaws says DeAndre Hopkins is still the best receiver in the league, fantasy-wise, otherwise. I agree, Jaws. Go trade for him now. That's why he's right here. The best advice I can give in not only Week 16, but probably moving forward. There will be no better advice than this week 6 advice of go getting Evans, go getting Zeke, and go getting Hopkins on the cheap. They win you leagues at buy low value. Like, mic drop. Like, I could end the show right here. And I feel like I'm ending it on the highest note I can end it. In fact, I should probably do it to prove a point. The cat even thinks so. Hit the thumbs up if you would not mind. And you know what that sound means. Speed round, and it's our outro music. It lasts about 2 minutes and something seconds. And I answer as many questions as I can speed round wise. Don't post a long question or you won't get in. Godwin and Connor for Zeke. I probably like that, but I might be called crazy. Juju or Joe Mixon. I go Juju. I know that's crazy too. I think I'm pissing off a lot of people tonight. Is Evans worth Lockett and Monty? Yes, Evans is worth more. Ridley and Lindsey for Mac. I like that. Waller is on a buy for me. Graham or Vance? Graham. Cat approved. Trade CMC, Connor, and Devonta Adams for Kamara, Dalvin Cook. I like Kamara and Dalvin Cook. Let's see. Wipe your feet, says Matt. Please wipe your feet on the way out as well. Cameron says no. Edward's mad, probably because the show's ending. Wentz or Bridgewater? I go Wentz. CMC, Connor, Adams, Kamara. Already answered that one. Who could I trade at running back if I trade away Shepard? You know, the super chats do keep me. They make me hit the music one more time. So you guys can thank Chi-Town for resetting the outro. It makes me have to redo it. Should I start Wentz or pick up Winston? And for my flex, Gurley might not play. McLaurin or Hollywood? I think you probably go Hollywood if Gurley doesn't play. And I probably pick up Winston, to be honest with you. Wentz is a pretty decent play. What do you guys think? Winston or pick up Winston or start Wentz? And I think Hollywood, but you could go McLaurin. Gurley's probably not going to play. Yeah, you guys can thank Chi-Town for resetting this. In fact, we'll make it a new thing. If I get a $5 super chat or more, I reset the music. Okay, back to speed round. Thank you for the super chat, Chi-Town. Would you trade Zeke, Fitz, and A-Rob for Barkley and Evans? Zeke, Fitz, and A-Rob. Absolutely. No question about it. Chi-Town. Is that you, Frank? Would you trade Cooper Kupp for D. Hopkins? Yes, I would. I'd take DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not falling for that. Wentz. Okay, so the answer is Wentz. Everybody says Wentz instead of Winston. Or not everybody, but a good chunk of people are saying that. Winston. Someone says Winston, but then Wentz. Stat line for Lev Bell at home with Darnold back, I'd say 90 rushing and a touchdown and 30 receiving. Or 80. 80 rushing, a touchdown, 30 receiving yards. A-Rod Mac for Mahomes. I'd probably take Mahomes, bro. That's me. I'm crazy. Zeke, Fitz, and A-Rob for Barkley. Absolutely. I think I already answered that one. Parker. Don't post it 8,000 times, Parker. We got you. Trade DeAndre Hopkins for Evans and Lev Bell. Yes. I take Evans and Lev Bell, bro. And that's weird because Evans and Hopkins are both buy lows. No problem, Parker. Don't put him in timeout, mods. He's fine. Everybody does a little craziness once in a while. Drop Miles Sanders for Madison or Monty. I pick up Monty. I find a way to also secure Madison. David Johnson for Cooper Kupp. No, David Johnson's worth more in my opinion. And that is it. Nice stream tonight. Take care, brother, says Blue. And if you haven't subscribed already, please hit subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out. And know that 1 hour before kickoff, I am live here on youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show, answering your questions 1 hour before kickoff into kickoff. And I'm also live 10 p.m. Eastern every single Wednesday. So thank you guys. Aaron Jones or LaBelle asking for I go Aaron Jones moving forward, but barely. Sorry about the reset, Smitty. Thanks. Why are you sorry? Everybody loves that you reset it. In fact, like I said, if there's a $5 super chat, it extends the show to another playthrough of the music and answering that chat. So you didn't do anything wrong, Chi-Town. You saved the show and made it last longer. Screw this. Nice knowing you. Why, Edward? Why, Edward? Did you ask a question and I not answer it? It's not like I can see everything, but let me find your question, Edward, because I don't want an unhappy customer. At least give me the thumbs up, Edward, and not hit the thumbs down. Edward's mad again. Edward, I'm trying to find your question, but all I have are mad faces. Edward, pump that thumbs down back to a thumbs up, and I'll find and answer your question right now. So once I see the change, Edward, this is a little. I'm gonna force your thumbs up. Jeopardy music, come on, Edward. I know that was you. Hit the thumbs up. I'm gonna answer your question. Edward. Let's make Edward happy. Start Jones with Jamal Williams cleared. Edward, I'm trying to answer your question. Oh, there he did. He moved it. He moved it. Okay, Edward. Should I give up Jackson, Wilson, Winston, plus Kelsey? Jackson, Wilson, Winston? Those are 3 QBs. Is this like a 5 QB starting league? I don't even understand this question, Edward. Plus Kelsey, Ertz, or Hooper. I don't know what you mean. Can you please explain that better? Should I give up Jackson, Wilson, Winston, plus Kelsey, Ertz, or Hooper? I could use better running back. Can you ask your whole question one more time? Smitty for once. That's true, MT. I try. I'm a people pleaser, MT. Stall. It's also give me more time to answer your questions. Stall. Would trade Kamara and Mike Thomas for Chubb and Barkley. I like Kamara, Mike Thomas, because we don't even know where Barkley is. Smitty's the man. Love the channel. I have a really hard question to start because my bye week is hurting. But should I start? Who's DR? Or Emmanuel Sanders? Who's DR? Okay. Okay. Lamar Jackson and Josh Gordon, who's hurt, for Evans. I take Evans. Edward was pouting like a baby. Well, it's okay. Edward, clarify your question real quick. Okay. Edward, I'm trying to wait for you, man. Maybe he's trying to say Jackson, Wilson, and Winston for Kelsey, Ertz, and Hooper. Yeah, but I don't even understand that. Jackson, Wilson, and Winston, 3 QBs? I've never heard of that kind of trade in my life. Plus Kelsey, Ertz, or Hooper. Smitty sends advice helps win championships. Attaboy. Edward. I tried my best, Edward. Oh, there it is. Who should I give up? Jackson, Winston, Wilson, or Kelsey, Ertz, or Hooper? I need a running back, as James White and Tevin Coleman are currently my only running backs. So you're saying like you don't have a deal in mind, just who should you trade? So you can probably trade. I'd trade whichever. You have 3 good quarterbacks. I would trade Jackson or Wilson. I like both of them about kind of close to the same. I know a lot of people love Jackson way more than Wilson, but I don't know that I do. So whichever one can get you the deal done. I keep Kelsey. I try and trade Ertz, but I wouldn't be opposed to trading Kelsey if it got a good deal done. But I would trade Jackson or Wilson and try and get yourself. I don't know if you can trade Ertz and Wilson or trade 2 of those for like a Zeke Elliott, man. Or as far as a running back goes, you could buy on a Chubb. I'd probably just try and get Zeke. I don't know that there are a ton of mid-range running backs right now that you can buy low at all. Maybe Lev Bell, now that Darnold's back. Thank you, Edward, for staying and being a part of the show. Okay, this is the last time. I'm leaving. Hawkinson for Josh Gordon. I take Hawkinson. Gordon's hurt. I don't even know if that'll go through because he's hurt. So Edward meaning one of those QBs. Yeah, I think that's what I don't know. Your cat wants screen time. He does. Carson is a beast. Hit me with some questions. Go. Would you trade Aaron Jones and Hollywood for Mike Evans? Yes, I would. I don't know that anybody else would, but I would. I like Mike Evans that much. Although Aaron Jones, let me back off of that a little bit, Jimmy. I might have jumped the gun there. I got excited. I think that's pretty even. I think Aaron Jones and Hollywood's pretty good. But I probably still would draft Mike Evans ahead of Aaron Jones, so that I lean that way. It was D-Rob. Okay, I even forget the original question, though, okay? Ask it again real quick, okay? Smitty, it was D-Rob. I don't know D-Rob and what. Just ask the full question one more time. Someone super chat. I'll reset it at 5. If someone does a 5 super chat, I'll reset the music. Wow, that's a little much. I need a weather update. Well, we'll do weather updates the 1 hour before game time, Jaws. Come in and bring it up. Carry on for Hopkins. I take Hopkins. Aaron Jones and Hollywood for Mike Evans. I already answered that one. We can see your cat sometime. Yeah, I'll try and show him. Trade Disley or Ertz. I'd trade whatever one gets you a good deal. Rick says weirdo. And that's it. Cook, Monty, and Damien. Let me answer this question. Cook, and then we're out. Cook, Monty, and Damien. Good running backs to have until Barkley comes back. Cook, Monty, Damien. Yeah, why not? All right, guys. I appreciate all of you. Go get it. See you 1 hour before kickoff. I'll see you every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Fantasy Football Show where I broadcast live my CBS Sports Radio show. Have a good one.